My favorite sound in Rainbow Six Siege, and the best part is, this gun is a beast. At least it was. No! I made a video a couple months back where I showcased the power of the spear suppress and how suppressors in Rainbow Six were pretty underrated at the time. I may be convinced that the devs at Ubisoft have been watching my videos though, because even though the spear suppress might still sound like pure heaven, the new recoil for it is straight out of hell. It might be time to say goodbye to this old friend, but we will say hello to a whole new fleet of suppressed weapons, because suppressors are the new meta, baby. Ubisoft can take away my favorite toy, the spear suppress, but they wouldn't do it without giving me some new toys to play with. In the newest operation of Rainbow Six, Brutal Swarm, Ubisoft has made it so that suppressors no longer do less damage, meaning the only reason not to use one would be if you need some better recoil control, which actually might be the case. The thing is, not only are suppressors on the rise, but recoil is too.
Oh my god, the spear has a lot of recoil. What the fuck is that?
Recoil has been slammed with this patch, and controlling guns feels like an entirely different game now. On the bright side, at least we'll have some new stuff to learn. Okay, so what's going on with suppressors and what's happening? Basically, this is my theory, or at least what I'll be doing for the foreseeable future. Some guns, the recoil is still very manageable, and you don't need a muzzle brake, flash hider, or compensator to manage the weapon. So instead, you slap on the suppressor, get rid of those bullet tracers, and just make it more confusing for everyone on the other team. There are a ton of benefits to using the suppressor over other attachments, but it turns out there's still one downside to it that only I recently discovered. First, let's dive into the benefits a little further. So the gun you're running has decent recoil, you're good to use the suppressor, but what is actually good about it? I've seen some people argue it's completely pointless because it's not very quiet, and because the maps aren't huge, you can still hear it being shot. While this may be true, the actual ability to pinpoint where the sound of the gun is coming from is much more difficult. Just look at this example where our entire team got slaughtered because we didn't realize where he was. It makes it much more difficult to trade effectively, and overall, it's just harder.
What the fuck was that? That's the problem. You don't know where the fuck anybody is. It's because everybody's using a fucking suppressor. You don't know where anybody dies from.
The other thing that adds to this is that the bullet tracers that would normally be pointing in that direction are now gone because of the suppressors also. So pinpoint accurate sound has been lost, along with the visual cues of where the bullets are actually coming from. This is called confusion, my friend, and definitely worth adding to your arsenal if the gun's recoil isn't going to be affected. Or is it? I did mention that there's one small downside to running the suppressor over other attachments, and that is that it's quiet. While that might be the point of a silencer, being quiet isn't always the best thing. For example, if your teammates are planning the diffuser, the click, clack, beep, beep of his little sausage fingers hitting the keyboard of the diffuser case is noise that the defenders can use to hear where and when the plant is going down. If you have a suppressor, you are no longer able to use the sound of your gun firing to cover up the sound of your teammate planning.
Problem with the...
I'm putting claymores on this side of the...
One thing about the suppressors is that you can't cover sound as good. That is a downside.
This is a very strong mechanic that people use all the time in higher level ranks, and especially in competitive. Losing that ability can be the difference between a flying nitro stopping the plant and a clueless defense having to retake the bomb site. So if you are running that suppressor, you might want to think first if you have any other utility or gadgets that can make some noise to do this.
R4C is back, baby.
This sound manipulation is great for more than just planting though. It can be the cover of an Amaru flying in a window, a teammate sneaking up behind someone, or just a distraction to get the defender to look in your direction, which they won't know if your bullet tracers are gone. While this downside to silencers might suck, realistically, you're not going to need this loudness most rounds, and it's just a situational downside to suppressors that doesn't hurt as much as the benefits help. So we're net positive on the benefits here.
I'm good. I got 15 bullets, guys. They're surrounding me, but I got 15 bullets. I'm good. I got a pistol. I'm good. Dude, I got a pistol. I'm good. I'm chilling. I don't need a gun. Fuck!
Now that we know suppressors are worth using, we need to know what guns are manageable enough to actually use them. Unfortunately, if you're on console, this part probably won't help you, as the recoils between console and PC are now being balanced separately. If you are on PC though, I've made a list of all the weapons in the game, and whether or not running the silencer is a good option. I'm sure somebody will make a best recoil attachment guide at some point, so you know the best attachments to get the easiest recoil, but the suppressor will be outclassed by the other attachments in terms of recoil. So for my list, one side will just be I think this gun has easy recoil, so run the suppressor because you don't need the extra benefit of the slightly easier recoil. And on the other hand, you have this gun's recoil is ridiculous and you definitely need to run another attachment. But we're not going to get into the specifics of said attachments. That part will just be personal preference. Okay? Okay. Here's my list. Feel free to pause the video, check out the guns, take a screenshot, whatever you need to do. The guns on the left here I think are all manageable enough that you don't need the extra attachment, and the guns on the right I believe to be more difficult in that the cons of the recoil outweigh the pros of the suppressor. Now remember, this list is all just based on myself and how I feel about the guns, and it's not statistically sound whatsoever. This is just me playing the game for a few days, spending some time in the shooting range, and feeling the guns out individually. Your list may vary, but this is mine. Some small notes here, the colors don't mean anything, it was just to make it easier to read and separate the different weapons. I only went over full auto weapons in this list, so pistols and DMRs I got no clue. If you are running a shotgun that can take on a suppressor, you might as well throw it on too. Besides suppressors though, I find that muzzle brake is typically the best go-to for most of the weapons when the recoil is harder to control. If that one isn't working for you though, try flash hider next. I'm pretty sure compensators are practically useless now too, so that one's usually not even worth trying.
Okay. I took the ace.
Outside of all these seemingly random changes, I am excited for the new season, and you should be too. We've got a new operator, a new gadget, new recoils, Castle Elite, some Cali changes, glass changes, butt changes, Capitao changes, and overall a massive shift in the meta. Maybe one of the saddest things though is that Maverick is practically useless now. They took away his grenades, and with the introduction of the EMP grenades, there's just really no benefit to bringing Maverick. You can pretty much always get the wall open without him by just using EMP grenades and a regular hard breacher. I'll probably make a video on this in the future to show that Mav has been absolutely fucking tanked. Besides that, the new season supposedly comes out on September 6th, but you can stay updated by following me on Twitter at Poxonlox or joining our community Discord. Both will be in the description below, and we'll see you on the next one.
Wow, this is a very strange feeling. Oh my god. Oh my god, Scorpion moment.
Right side.
Oh. Fuck you. Oh my god.
Only operator remaining. Been exposed.
Oh! I got him! And I got a Goyo kill!
Push up. You got him. That's the roof.
And top wall.
Indoor.
Dude!